Good afternoon. They said speak right into the mic. Does that work? All right. Thanks so much to the Miami Beach Chamber of Commerce. This is a legacy event from one of the associations that has merged together to form the largest local realtor association in the country, and now our new numbers are 33,000 members. Many of you here today and all of our VIP panel have helped make Miami what it is today, and very excitingly, and maybe more importantly, what it will be in the future. I'm not doing my normal presentation today because you have a very large and a very important panel. Not that you don't always have an important panel, but this one is especially large. So I'm giving you the 5-minute version of the program, which is compatible for Facebook and Twitter, just so you know. We're taking that version. All right, so what's happened with the real estate market? Well, obviously it's been an up and down cycle, but in the 21 years I've been here, all but 4 of those years have been up, and I mean really high up. We have had 3 record years in the number of real estate sales, and that means even beating out that highest year, and that's in our 93-year history. You're getting figures which are not being released until next week, when we also release the state and national numbers. But the single-family median home sale price right now in Miami is $250,000, and that is 6.5% better than a year ago. The condo median price is $182,000, and surprisingly, one of the very few times that we are less than that was 1 year ago. It's 4% less than a year ago. We've had 2.5 years of price increases, but when you take a look at our history, this is the 20-year history, so almost the entire time I've been here in Miami, and you see what's happened with our real estate market. The red line are the condos, and we didn't used to keep track of condos. It wasn't that they didn't count, it's just that they weren't keeping track of them. So you can see what's happened to our market. So even after 2.5 years of price increases, we are still at prices from 10 years ago in 2004. We have an incredibly strong real estate market, and prices are selling near list price. They are selling at about 95% of list price. We are in a very fortunate place here in Miami. So let's talk about new condo construction. You can't talk about Miami without talking about what's going on with the new condo market. And so my friend and our board member, Peter Zalewski, hosts Crane Spotters, and our association is one of the sponsoring organizations of Crane Spotters. He has great information on that site, so if you haven't been there, you will want to be sure and visit. So out of the 173 new construction towers that have been announced in Miami-Dade County east of I-95, there are actually 7 that have been completed and 54 are under construction, 59 are in the planning stages, and 53 have been approved. What's currently selling, 76 projects, 90 towers. And of these, 63% are already sold. The mean price per square foot, Peter tells me, is $825. So let's talk about who's buying our real estate. Nationally, these are new studies that are out. The top 5 markets for the U.S. Canada is first with 19%. China has been edging up, and now it's coming close to Canada. China's at 16%, followed farther behind at only 9% Mexico and 5% India and UK. So who's buying in Florida? The top 5 markets who are buying in Florida are nearly 1/3 to Canadians. UK then drops all the way back to 7%, along with China, Brazil, and Germany. So in the U.S., what are the top 4 states for foreign investors? Florida is 23%. 1 in 4 properties sold to foreigners in the entire United States is sold here in Florida. No one else is even close. California is way back at 14%, followed by Texas and Arizona way down at 6%. The Miami Association has 124 signed global partnerships with associations around the world. So who's buying here? Well, the people buying in Miami, not surprisingly, 70% are from Latin America. Then it drops down to 8% for Europe, and then 6% for Canada. What are the countries that are buying? Not surprisingly, Venezuela is holding its place at #1, followed by Argentina, which jumped over Brazil for the first time, followed by Brazil, Colombia, Peru, then Canada, Russia, then Ecuador, Honduras, and Mexico, and China, for the first time, is now in our top markets for Miami. And Miami does have a trade mission later this month, later in October, going to China. Those are the numbers for Fort Lauderdale. You'll be able to see those if you go to our site and download this program. So finally, who's looking at Miami properties? Well, we always look at Realtor.com International, and Miami is #2 out of the entire United States for foreign buyers looking at properties. If you combine Fort Lauderdale and Miami, we might overtake LA. Of the top 20 markets who are searching, every time you see red, it's Miami. Every time you see blue, it's part of Florida. Every one of these 12 markets chose Miami as their first, second, and third choice of properties that they want to look at and buy in. We have the top 10 visitors by country to our website, which is very similar, and the top 10 visitors by state, because who's coming in from other places in the United States is equally important to us, and we love that New York is always first, but surprisingly, California is usually second. Wealth Daily just published a report this week which referred to our luxury market and cash in Miami's real estate market, and they said Miami is where the rich not only play, but stay. They say that we are one of the best places for wealthy investors, and our real estate has secured its place in the long-term investment strategy for wealthy people. We like that. They refer to the wealth report also in that article, and you might want to take a look at that wealth report, which is really pretty amazing. It talks about the top 4 markets and the criteria for those markets, and Miami and New York are both the only ones from the U.S. in those markets. You look at future hotspots, and Miami is #2, second only to New York in the future hotspots, but it's interesting to see where those other markets are that are hotspots around the country, around the world. Highest net worth populations, nobody is close to the United States, but it's interesting to see where the others are. Housing Predictor magazine referred to the top 25 real estate markets in the U.S. for this year. Miami is #1. Your #1 resource and ours for all of these news releases and studies and the state and national studies is South Florida MarketIntel.com, which is our association site. As I mentioned, Miami has 124 global partnerships, and we are bringing many of those partners to the Miami International Congress, our 20th anniversary Congress at the Biltmore Hotel. That's coming up in just about a month. We have at least 50 foreign delegates coming to learn more about Miami and to connect with us and with our markets. So join us there. And finally, all of the information is on our website, and give us until about Monday, and this report, along with others, will be posted. Thank you.